I've got a nice spreadsheet of all the Pistoleer changes and we can look through it together. There's an actual Pistoleer item? Really? Is that real? Is this real life? So there's this horse here. I put this horse here for people, and they probably don't know why I put that there, but it's this like a special unique island horse that has like 2 charges. So you got the space bar, and then you got this one too. So it's like one of the best mounts in the game. You can just spam it. But you can't use it anywhere except for like whatever island it comes from. So it's sad. Alright, so I've got this spreadsheet. I'll link it in the description. This talks about all the Deadeye changes. Like, people are talking about Hitmaster now for enhanced weapon. So Propulsion is a viable engraving for Pistoleer. Yes, it provides 16% damage for 5 seconds. While the engraving is viable, it does force you to be mindful to always land your abilities in the 5 seconds after you use one of your 2 space bars. Scales better with Atropine than Cursed All. Interesting. I did not know that. And we got some memes here. Smilegate propping up Pistoleer and Gunslingers being drowned, I guess. I don't know why they put Deathfire here, because they buffed Deathfire. Like, people are actually using Deathfire now. So, Pistoleer ability spacebar animation is significantly improved, faster animation and landing. Enforced execution, fleet footwork tripod now counters during the dash. That is wonderful news. Quick shot and cruel tracker animations are changed and faster. This is, again, wonderful news. Desperado, which is our new skill, it's got that icon. One of the choices for the 7M build. I don't know what the 7M, 6M thing is. I don't, like, maybe that's like 7 damaging abilities. Like, I don't know what that means. So Saintone says the damage on Pistoleer is really good now and it's outrageously fun. He is currently my favorite to play in my roster. Combination of fun and solid damage. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
We go from a meme to being validated, all in one patch. So the Pistoleer engraving changed, they nerfed the damage on it by 10%, but then they increased the damage on like everything else, it seems. So makes sense why they did that. Damage of awakening skill, clay bombardment increased by 10%. I think they increased the sniper one by 20. So I'm still curious if Pistoleer is going to use the sniper one. Movement skill replaced with endless onslaught. You get 2 stacks of it. Cooldown of movement skill. So cooldown of movement skill reduced by 0.1 seconds each time a pistol skill hits. Which means if you hit, you know, equilibrium or spiral tracker, anything with multi-hit, you're going to reduce the cooldown of your spacebar, which is amazing. That's why you're going to be zooming around. It applies a 5-second buff that provides 8% attack and move speed and 5% cooldown reduction. That's really cool. So this is why you can do Raid Captain and you just put quick pace on Spiral Tracker and you don't need swiftness because you get this. And then you can run crit spec. I also think the new ability gives movement speed as well. But so Spiral Tracker, instead of having 2 stacks, it's 3. That's amazing. Equilibrium has some changes to it that are hard to kind of compare. With Equilibrium in your raid build, you're going Burn Effect. And yeah, Burn Effect is estimated to be stronger. And then Deathfire, the reason why Deathfire can't be used now is because when you hit the perfect zone, is the damage doesn't do that much. And so I've been saying for like the last year, if they buff the perfect zone damage by a lot, then you could start using it. When you use this ability that's got like a huge cooldown and it has a perfect zone and it takes a long time to get off, and then the burst at the end is like 2 million, it's like, well, why am I using that ability? It sucks. So I've always said, like, if they buff the perfect zone success, then it becomes a ability that you can actually use. And as you can see here, they buffed it by 100%, and so that's why you can now use it. Because before, like right now, it does like no damage. I'm 1590. If I equipped it, it's not gonna do good enough damage to rationalize taking it. So that's why you can now take it, which is kind of cool. All right, so this is Desperado. So Desperado, upon landing, press the skill again to spend once and move a short distance while increasing your movement speed 40% for 2 seconds. So again, this is rationalizing a raid captain build if you want it. The reason why people don't really do raid captain or don't think it's very reliable is it requires you to be very conscious of your movement speed while you're doing the build. It's sort of like running Dominion. With Dominion, you have to be very conscious of your ultimate timing and making sure that you aren't wasting that buff. And it's just maintenance during a raid, which can get annoying and taxing to do if you aren't into it. But it's cool that they're giving you different areas where you can kind of cap your movement speed. So during rolling animation, you are push immune. That's amazing. If you take the bullet storm tripod while you're in the middle of the skill animation, you can click to land and spin. You are only push immune during this weird short hop and not the helicopter. These are the tripods. These are kind of meaningless without seeing the animation, so I'm not going to read them. But it is kind of cool. Suggested tripods are either Cascade. This one apparently is used by Saintone. Saint increases the AoE radius. And Bullet Time, which increases the fire rate. I will probably do the fire rate. Faster animation is likely going to be better versus the slower. And then armor piercing and style change. So armor piercing increases the damage you deal. Take this if you want to move while shooting. So yeah, that sounds cool. And then style change increases damage dealt to enemies while you're in the middle of rapid fire. You can move faster. So that sounds wonderful. So trending Korean builds right now. Again, don't know what the 7M, 6M is. I think it's like you get 7 damage abilities versus 6. Like I don't know what that means. Like maybe it's 6 million, but it doesn't make sense because if somebody could tell me what that means, that would be great. So example builds, I don't think I'll ever run mass increase because that sounds like a really stupid idea. Like if you're going spec crit, like making it your attack speed even slower seems really, really stupid. I guess if the jump is that significant, like that's like 1.7 million damage, like just because they took mass increase over Cursed All, like I don't know, that's pretty wild. But it's Grudge, Pistoleer, Adrenaline, Cursed All, mass increase. Oh, they're substituting Precise Dagger for mass increase. And then they're also using elixirs. I don't know if we're gonna get elixirs anytime soon. I mean, I will try all of these builds out in Trixie when the patch lands to get a feel for what playstyle I like. We'll do a really, really big stream on that. Try to figure out what works best for my playstyle, just like currently. You're basically getting rid of Dexter Shot, and then, yeah, Dexter Shot for Desperado is kind of what you're doing. And then yeah, we'll have to see if I'm subbing in Deathfire. Because maybe you don't need... Oh, they do have Judgment here. So you would do Conviction on Desperado. Okay, that makes sense. So you would do Desperado, and then you do follow up with Equilibrium to do your Conviction Judgment, and then that lets you get rid of Spiral Tracker for Deathfire if you want. So it is still Deathfire versus Spiral Tracker, which is kind of funny. So those are like a summary of changes. If you're interested in that, I linked it in both YouTube and Twitch chats. I'll also put it in the description of this video. But I think you're gonna want to make sure that you go spec crit regardless of the build path that you choose. And removing crit seems like a really bad idea. Just because the core foundation of the way the Pistoleer works is your damage scales via crit damage through spec, and you're not doing any damage at all if you don't crit. Not being over 85% crit by yourself is a mistake. Like currently I think I'm like 92% crit by myself, so I could probably pump the brakes on that slightly, but you definitely want to make sure that you have lots of crit. But it's gonna be fun. I'm excited about all that. It's gonna be good. So let me know if you guys have any questions or want me to look through anything else. Everybody's in the testing phase on Korea right now, trying to test the best builds and playstyle. Personally, I think playstyle is more important than trying to do the most optimal numbers when you're standing still. It's good to mix both of those, like have a balance of it, but making sure that you're really happy with the playstyle is going to make you want to play the character, and you're going to get better at the character. And then being good at a playstyle is better than optimal DPS, because you'll just naturally have more uptime than somebody else that's not as comfortable with their character, which is the reason why I usually get MVP over people. So I'm very, very comfortable with my character. I don't have to look at the cooldowns, you know? I can raid lead while I'm playing. It just works out.